friends, Krista here. Thanks for watching Books and Jams today. I am going to real quick do a little wrap up of BookTubeAthon for you. I started out the week thinking that I was going to vlog as I went, or at least at the end of every day kind of update how I was doing, but that lasted the whole of, I think, one day. I have two clips here to show you from the beginning part of the week. I will just let you know I did read 7 books throughout the week, which is amazing. I didn't quite complete all 7 challenges, but I'll talk about that at the end. But let me just put these 2 clips in here from early in the week. Well, it is the end of day 1 of BookTubeAthon, and so far so good. I was debating with myself a little bit today about doing the video challenges, and I'm not saying that I won't do any of them, but as far as timeline goes, my main priority is reading the 7 books, and then my second priority is participating in the Instagram challenges if I'm able to, and then if there happens to be a day where I am way ahead of things, then maybe I will do the video challenge. But as of right now, I'm not sure that that's going to happen. But today was a really good day. I didn't start reading until the child that I nanny for went down for her morning nap, but I did get a good chunk of reading done at work, and then I don't have anything on Monday nights except The Bachelorette, so I had a good chunk of reading this evening as well. I did finish my first book, the book that I flipped a coin for, and it was Flipped by Wendelin Van Dranen. And I think I had forgotten that this is actually a movie as well, so I put the movie on hold from the library. I really enjoyed this story. It's a middle grade story about this boy and girl. They live across the street from each other. She immediately falls in love with him. You know, puppy love. She falls in love with his blue eyes and his blonde hair, and she just can't get enough of him. Kind of lasts for years. And the little boy finds her annoying and wants to stay away from her. But ultimately, this is about looking beyond appearances and stereotypes to really discover who people are and their true selves. It was a very sweet story. I absolutely loved it, and I do really want to watch the movie now because I just feel like it's going to be really good. I also read about 85 pages of Far From the Tree by Robin Benway. This is the one that's about 3 biological children who had been adopted into different families, and now they're teenagers and they are finding each other, and this is all happening at the very beginning. So each one has their own story and their own hurts and things that they're working through and insecurities, and I'm really excited to see where this goes and how they've only just met the 3rd one, so I'm excited to see how meeting each other changes their life ultimately. Yeah, I have a feeling this one's gonna get to me. I already have teared up. I didn't actually cry, but I've already teared up, and it's only been 80 pages. And this one is one of the longer ones of the month. It has like 370 something pages, but it's really quick. So while the little guy sleeps tomorrow, I will be reading this one and hopefully finishing this on day 2. We shall see. Well, it is now Wednesday evening, day 3 of BookTubeAthon, and I did not talk about yesterday's book because at the end of the day I finished Far From the Tree by Robin Benway, and I cried so much that I had a headache and went right to bed. This story really touched my heart. Ultimately, this is a book about these 3 finding family and finding themselves ultimately, and learning to accept who they are and learning to accept that people can love them the way that they are. I really loved this book. The way that these 3 find each other and support each other in the midst of all of this was really beautiful. Yes, it was probably a little too happy by the end, like everything kind of works out, but I was there for it. I was really there for it. I felt for them and all of the things that they were going through. So I really, really loved this book very much. Yeah. So I finished that last night and had a headache, like I said, so I went to bed. But today I didn't finish anything, but I am not even halfway through 2 different ones. So this week I am listening to The Lost Castle by Christy Cambron on audiobook. So I started this today or yesterday. I think I started it yesterday. I'm about 100 pages into this one. I tried to listen to it a bit before bed last night, but that's never a good idea because I just fell asleep and then I had to find where I was, and the last thing I could remember, a little tricky. So this will be my audiobook, and I also today started Since You've Been Gone, and I'm only about like 30 pages into this one so far. Very different. This one is a historical fiction that has 3 different time periods: the French Revolution, World War II, and then the present day story. Whereas this one is a very contemporary, but I've heard very good things about this book, and I'm excited to get to it. The fun thing is that the beginning of the week is my busiest, what with work, and I had a small group at church tonight and just different things planned. But Friday, I only have to work for about 4 hours, so I have a lot of reading time on Friday. And Saturday, as of right now, I don't think I have any plans. And there's still a lot of rain in the forecast, so I would totally be down with a rainy reading day, either most of Friday or Saturday or both. So I'm on track still to finish all 7 books. We shall see. I'll keep you posted. I ended up not doing any of the video challenges, and I ended up not doing any more of the Instagram challenges other than that first day. That evil comparison bug bit me, and I was seeing everybody else's Instagram pictures that were so creative and beautiful. I just didn't have the motivation to come up with anything super creative, and I also really wanted to focus on my reading, so therefore I didn't do any more Instagram pictures. That ended up being good because I finished my 7th book at like 10 o'clock last night, which is the end of the BookTubeAthon was at midnight. So I was cutting it pretty close anyway, and that was my focus for the week. Clearly I read Flipped and really enjoyed it, and I found out that that is a movie, but I didn't have time to even watch the movie because of all the reading. So I still have this out from the library, and I would like to read it. No, I would like to watch it, because I really did enjoy this book. I also finished Far From the Tree early in the week. This one ended up being my favorite read of the whole entire week. This book fulfilled the challenge of choosing your first book by flipping a coin. This second one fulfilled the challenge of something that you would like to do in your life, because one of the main themes of this is adoption. I cried buckets by the end. I loved the relationship that formed between these 3 biological children as they found each other, and just the way that it all played out I thought was really touching. Then, to fulfill the challenge of green on the cover, I read Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson. I think I did rate this 4 stars at first, but thinking back on it, it's definitely only a 3-star read for me, which is very typical for YA contemporary. I know that there's a lot of people who absolutely loved this story. I didn't. Friendship is one of the main themes, and there was a friendship that I liked, but then it turned into more than friendship, and he had a girlfriend. So I don't understand why cheating is okay. Like, I get when you're 16, there was no ultimate commitment between them. So break up with your girlfriend before you start a relationship with this other girl, or when you start to have feelings for someone else, break up with your girlfriend. I don't know. I don't like cheating themes in books. I really don't like it. And the friendship between the 2 girls, even though I really loved the girl who was stayed behind and got this list, I loved her growth and development throughout the story. She was kind of a doormat before, kind of let other people walk all over her and was content to be in the background, but she was a strong girl, and throughout the story she became more brave. She got more brave. She stepped out of her comfort zone. Yeah, she was bold and fun and made new friends, and she didn't think she would do that. She was just missing her other friend so much at the beginning. So I liked her growth and development throughout the story, but I didn't like the friendship that was portrayed between the 2 girls in the flashbacks and stuff. I didn't like that the other girl allowed her friend to be walked all over so much, or whatever. I don't know. I just didn't like the friendship. I didn't like the theme of cheating, so this only gets a 3 stars for me. Then I listened to an audiobook of The Lost Castle, but this is the one that fulfills the Pretty Spine challenge. I think because I listened to this on audio, it really lowered my enjoyment. This was only a 3-star read for me. However, it's a historical fiction. We have 3 timelines: the French Revolution and World War II, and then present day. All 3 take place kind of surrounding this castle and chapel and the grounds around this estate in France. So all 3 storylines happen in this same location. all three females have relationships that I just didn't buy it. They just happened so quickly. I don't know if it was because I was listening sporadically here and there throughout the beginning of the week. There's just something that I didn't buy it. I didn't like any of the relationships. I rolled my eyes quite a bit. I did like the historical aspect of it. I liked the castle all the way through and the changes and how that thread kind of pulled through all three storylines. But yeah, I didn't really care for the characters that much, and I definitely didn't care for the relationships and the way that they all just seemed to tie up nicely with a big red bow. So yeah, not the greatest. Oh, what I also liked, that there is a portrayal of a grandmother and her granddaughter in here, and the grandmother has Alzheimer's, and I thought that was really interesting, and I did like that relationship between the granddaughter and her motivation for going to this castle. I really enjoyed. So there was definitely aspects I liked about this. I think if I had read it rather than listened to it, it might have gone better for me, but there's that. The fifth book that I read this week was the one for Wear a Hat throughout the time of reading, and I'm really glad I have no clips of that because I am not a hat person. But I did read First and Then by Emma Mills. On the back, this compares this book to Pride and Prejudice meets Friday Night Lights, and it's just a young adult contemporary falling in love. Football is a main theme, and I can't stand football. So this was, again, just an okay read for me. I did love all the Austen throw-ins. One of the main girl character loves Jane Austen, and so she's constantly reading Sense and Sensibility, which is her favorite, and talking about Jane Austen. I liked definitely the relationship between that main girl, what's her name? Devon, and her cousin who comes to live with them named Foster. And at the beginning, she really resents his presence in her home, but grows to really care about him as she learns about who he is, and as he kind of comes into his own, and as she learns about his past a little bit and her extended family. I did like that relationship very much, but the romance, you know, I didn't care. I definitely didn't care for all the football that was all the way through this. So it was cute. It was a cutesy story, but not anything that I'm gonna reread. Definitely didn't blow my mind. The book that meets the book-to-movie adaptation, I chose Where the Red Fern Grows by Wilson Rawls. This was the last book that I completed, and I do have the DVD here, but I just didn't have time because I did finish this book last night at about 10 o'clock. So I ran out of time to watch the movie. I mean, I suppose I could have stayed up till midnight, but when you have to be at work at 7, staying up till midnight is not a good idea. This was a really sweet middle grade read about a little boy who lives in the Ozarks in Oklahoma, I want to say. Up in the mountains. He and his family have a farm up there. He really, really, really wants some coon hunting dogs and works for years to save up nickels and dimes and quarters in order to have the money to buy himself some dogs. So this is really all about the relationship between this boy and his 2 dogs and their coon hunting. I honestly got a little bit bored with all of the hunting bits and pieces throughout it. I did love the story of this boy and his determination and the way that he loves his dogs and his dogs clearly love him, and just their antics together I thought was really cool. But everyone told me that this one's gonna make me bawl, and I did tear up a little bit at the end. I think it's because I'm not a huge animal lover, and I've never really had pets that were part of the family or anything like that. Like, I just have never been an animal person, so I didn't bawl with this story. I get how other people did, but it was very sweet, but only a 4-star read for me, which is not an only, right? 4 stars is really good. The 7th book I'm not going to talk about too much. It's I Let You Go by Claire McIntosh. This is my read-along pick for my Goodreads book club, and I don't want anybody to be spoiled, or I don't want to say anything. I'll just say that I loved the twists and turns in here. I was surprised a couple different times, which was awesome. The ending had me gasping, and again, there's a theme of adultery or almost adultery in this book, and I can't stand it. I just don't like it at all. Whether it's realistic or not, I don't care. I don't want to read about it. So there was a little bit of that throughout, and I was really frustrated with those characters. I thought this was a thriller, and then as I began this book, I was like, wait a minute, this is not really thrillery, but then it gets there. It gets there, and I really enjoyed that. So that's all I'm going to say about this one. So there you have it. Here are the 7 books that I read during BookTubeAthon. I am really, really thrilled with myself that I completed all 7 challenges. I basically had no life this past week, but I got through some really great books and some fun ones and some just okay ones too, but that's only to be expected. Everything can't be fantastic. But I'm really thrilled with how my reading went during the week. I would love to chat with you down below if you've read any of these and want to chat about them further or about anything else. Let's chat down in the comments. Give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will be talking to you in another video very soon. Bye!